Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your latest football transfer news this Sunday afternoon actually. So look, lots to get into. We're going to be talking about Liverpool moving on to another transfer target. I also want to talk about what they're going to do if they don't get Isak, because Fabrizio Romano has given an update on another forward that Liverpool could move for. I'm losing count of the amount of players they're going for. Also, Arsenal are still in the race for Rodrigo. We'll give you the latest on that, although the stumbling block may not be the willingness of the player to come, but the wages Arsenal don't want to pay. And we've got a big list of other transfer news that's going on a Sunday, which is always interesting to get our teeth into. But one story I want to start off with very, very quickly, because it leads into what we're going to talk about. Liverpool target Mark Guehi of Crystal Palace is prepared to see out the final year of his contract at Crystal Palace if he's not guaranteed the right offer. And this is despite Crystal Palace looking to cash in on the England defender. So some people thinking, well, is this Guehi quick deal with Liverpool not going to happen then? Interestingly, today, the transfer window never sleeps if you're competent. At United, it does. So Romano, about 3 hours ago, here we go. Guiza to Leverkusen from Liverpool, £30 million plus 5 million add-ons. Liverpool will have a buyback clause to keep for future control of the player. So fantastic bit of business there from Liverpool. Again, you get £30 million for a young centre-back. And if you want to bring him back, you will get first choice on that as well. So are the Guardian right that Guehi maybe doesn't fancy Liverpool if he's not going to be a first team player? Well, instantaneously after the here we go, we had a retweet from Fabrizio Romano, which isn't his current pinned tweet, but is still a retweet. And it's a retweet from June the 20th, which is that as soon as Guiza deal is completed, Liverpool will activate centre-back options, Guehi on the shortlist, and Diamonde can then go to Crystal Palace. So it's looking very much like Liverpool are moving on a very, very quick deal here. And it looks like it will be Guehi to add into Kirkez, who will be official this week, Wirtz and Frimpong, who already are. And it's sort of just, I just want to pose the question. Sunday is a day of rest. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is a day of rest for Man United and some clubs, but it's certainly not a day of rest for Liverpool. But on a reflection, what are your thoughts, Arsenal fans, Man City fans, Man United fans, Chelsea fans? What are your thoughts about Liverpool over the last month? Because I do think it's ridiculously impressive. Everything they're doing is incredibly impressive. Frimpong, you basically got for 20 million because you got 10 million out of Real Madrid for them taking Trent early. Wirtz, you've spent 113 million on, but you're going to get 30 million back instantly because they're going to buy Guiza and then you've got a buyback clause. Then you're going to go and get Guehi. You're getting Kirkez in as a left back and you're still going to get a striker, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It's June the 22nd and some football clubs are just waiting until July. Pre-season starts in early July. Liverpool are just ready to go. And I can look at it as a United fan and say, I'm very angry about how slow we are. But I think I'd look at it if I was an Arsenal fan and go, you know, we haven't actually officially signed anybody yet. And next season's massively important to us. I think you just sort of get... People say these things take time and you've got to negotiate, but Liverpool are no different to anybody else. Why have they been able to get deals done quickly? Why are they so efficient? And I think efficiency really will be a benefit to the team that wins the league next season. That's my opinion on it. But looks like Guehi's going to happen very, very quickly. It's the speed of the deal as well, isn't it? Out, in. I look at United, we've got a sell to buy. We'll sell then. Sell. Look how quickly Liverpool have sold Guiza. You're telling me Garnacho's not an easy sale? Why is that not happening? Arsenal, Rodrigo. I'd love to be talking about the striker. Will this be the week that Arsenal go for a striker, get that striker deal done? Will it be Gyökeres or Sesko? Let us know in the chat where you would go. I think they should get Sesko. I would be very happy with Gyökeres if I was an Arsenal fan, but I think they should get Sesko because it's bloody obvious that it's the player that Arteta wants. They also want a winger as well. Nico Williams is clearly going to go to Barcelona, but the latest news this morning is that Rodrigo is still an option for Arsenal. The concern is the wage demands he would make. And I think that this demand is, you know, quite an intelligent conversation for Arsenal fans or an observer anyway. I would be looking at that, and they're talking about ridiculous money. I think they're talking about like 300 grand a week or something like that. I don't know what he's on at Real Madrid, but these sort of deals would worry me if I was Arsenal, because I look at the way Wolves and Brighton and Bournemouth recruit, and they'll go and get the player that will do really well, and then 2 years' time they'll get sold for 60, 70, 80, 90 million to Man United, Chelsea or whoever. Arsenal here would be going for Rodrigo, fantastic player who is almost going, I'll do you a favour, I'll come to Arsenal if you make me ridiculously rich. And these deals, I don't think they befit what the Premier League needs to be, and I don't think they befit what Arsenal are really looking for. You want players like Rodrigo, but you want those players to be going, I want to come and play for Arsenal. Looks like I'm on the fringes at Real Madrid. I want to be a first team player, and I want to prove what I'm all about. When you start going, we're interested, and then the players coming back with ridiculous wage demands, my initial thought is, well, here we go. It's a mercenary move, isn't it? I don't really want to leave Real Madrid, but if I am, you better pay me. And it's like, that's not really that endearing. Fantastic player, but if it's about wages, you've got to be avoiding that sort of a deal, I think. But look, Arsenal do need a winger. I think Nico Williams was going to be a very interesting signing for them, but obviously Barcelona have gone back in and done it again. Chelsea are open to the sale of Nicholas Jackson, with Italian clubs Juventus and Napoli both interested, says DiMarzio. This is really interesting because Chelsea seem to get linked to a lot of players, and I want to talk about sort of Liverpool's next striker, because I'll read this and it sort of fits in with Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United and certainly Liverpool. So this is what Fabrizio Romano had to say on Isak. Liverpool would try to go for Isak if he became available, but at the moment, I don't have the feeling it is. The club, too, from what I'm hearing, see it as very, very difficult deal to do for Isak. But a name I can mention for Liverpool is still Gueho and Ekitike at Eintracht Frankfurt. Darwin Núñez leaves. Let's see what happens with Luis Diaz, but especially Darwin Núñez leaving this summer. This could be a possibility for Liverpool to go for Ekitike. Ekitike has spoken to Chelsea. Man United have expressed an interest in the last few days. But for Liverpool, this is also a possibility. Liverpool have spoken to Ekitike's agents. Also, Liverpool considered Ekitike an interesting opportunity. So that's a name I would keep in their shortlist. Well, look, if Chelsea can offload Nicholas Jackson, remember Ekitike has been a target of theirs as well. So I think that look, it's a dream summer for Liverpool, isn't it, so far? 4 players in. If they get Guehi, an attacker's clearly going to come in as well. That's 5 signings. For the Premier League champions, it's an incredible summer, and Liverpool fans must be on cloud 9. But I think if it's true that Chelsea are looking to offload Nicholas Jackson, and I'm sure Italian clubs would take him. Italian clubs are very interested in Premier League players, and most of them tend to do quite well. That would then open up the Ekitike, Chelsea, Liverpool dynamic. So keep an eye on that, because I don't actually know where Liverpool go if they don't get Isak and they don't get Ekitike. Where would Liverpool go? Because they do need a striker, and they have been ridiculously efficient. So are we now seeing a bit of a race here? If Liverpool accept Isak is a waste of time, they can't do the deal, do they then just move straight onto Ekitike? And can Chelsea move fast to make things happen? And this is where being in a Club World Cup probably becomes quite problematic, because how do you sell Nicholas Jackson when he's at a Club World Cup? So maybe Liverpool have got a bit of a march on that one. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. What else? There was something else I wanted to talk about, and I'm just looking at my notes here, and I can't bloody see it. I mean, look, there may well be other options. Let me know. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Just a quick Sunday update there, but that's where we're at. Looks like Liverpool and Guehi will happen. Arsenal, should they be going for Rodrigo on those wages? And as I said there, would you... where do you think Liverpool will end up in the striker situation, and can Chelsea fast track a deal with Nicholas Jackson so they can get an Ekitike as well? Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you on the next one. Please do subscribe to the channel, smash a like and leave a comment. I'll speak to you soon.